The Politicrat Daily Podcast online store is hotting up with more items to choose from. On your travels to the store at the-politicrat.myshopify.com, you will find 66 and counting. 66, at least 66 different products, all designed by yours truly. So come one, come all, to the Politicrat Daily Podcast online store at the-politicrat.myshopify.com. Really good stuff there. I think you'll love it. So get ready to go and have this great experience online. Bye now. Thank you very much for your support. Oh, my goodness me. I am so delighted to introduce to you a wonderful, wonderful person. And she broadcasts on BBC Three Counties Radio. She does not represent the BBC, I should mention that. And a wonderful, wonderful warm welcome to Farzana Choudry. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. An honor and a privilege to join you.
Wonderful to have you. And I'm delighted to have you here, Farzana. Why don't we talk about anything and everything that we can? Watford fans, both of us, which is really good. I think you have some apparel and attire somewhere.
I need a prop. Yeah, I need a prop. We normally have a Zoom call after watching the matches on Hive. We have a Zoom call between about a dozen of us. And that's really just therapy after the game. At the moment, it is therapy, or it's like a bit of a victory. And then if it's a victory, then we have a celebration photo. So, yeah, it's just capturing the moment, trying to do as best as we can in these moments.
Oh gosh. How do you feel about Watford right now? Why don't you tell me how you feel first?
How do I feel? Oh my goodness. How do I feel? There's obviously something missing, isn't there? With a squad like we've got, I know we're only fifth and it seems really ungrateful to be whinging and whining, and you don't want to come across as a Spurs fan at all. But gosh, with the talent that we've got, we should be whipping everyone. And yeah, we're fifth, but I don't feel that joy because I think, my goodness, we should not be fifth with the way that we've been playing. So I feel frustrated. I feel really frustrated. Cisco, oh my goodness, I just have bad vibes for Cisco. Poor Cisco. What's going to happen after the match on Saturday? I think he's probably got a kind of like an axe swinging against his head. But you can't do that. You can't keep changing the manager. There's no stability. You've got to have that. I don't know, it's just the team gelling together, that culture, that culture's got to be really strong. Even if you're bringing in new players, you've got to have a core, strong structure. And something's missing. Clearly something's missing. They're playing for Watford. I want to see them running and puffing and panting their little socks off. Where's the passion? Where's the joy? Don't even start me on Andre Gray. Don't even start me on him. When I see him running around with 18 on the back of his shirt, which is how much we paid for him, 18 million, I'm wound up every single time I watch him play. So, it's not brilliant at the moment, is it, watching them? Let's face it.
Definitely not. And I don't want to lead you down the gray path, but I feel the same way you do about him, and perhaps even more so about the way management and the board are behaving around him and enabling him, and he's not producing a thing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's had more lockdown breaches than he scored goals this season. I mean, it's shameful. It's absolutely shameful. Just like a churlish, spoilt child. Yes, you're in the championship, and that's the team's fault. That's your collective fault. We're in the championship, but help us to get out of it.
Yeah, he's been abysmal. He really has, and I think the less said about him, the better.
Yeah, exactly. But it just winds me up. Seeing that 18 just really winds me up. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on. Now, when you and I corresponded It's just so good to see you, because we just had a right old ding dong, laughing it up and having fun on DMs and everything.
Yeah.
Two Brits like us having a laugh, talking about all these things that are going on around us. And I remember when we spoke, we talked about the inauguration, and you mentioned Amanda Gorman, and I had some concerns about her. She's wonderful, brilliant, just ahead of her time.
Yeah.
But there's this American cultural industry that sinks its claws into you.
Exactly. And you know what? The grown-up kind of maternal instinct in me just wants to protect her. Wants to protect her. And I'm sure she has, and she does. She has a really strong mother, etc. But it's that I don't know. I mean, we have that culture over here. You kind of bring them up and then you destroy them, and this is it. I mean, she's got global acclaim, and where do you go from here? That's the really scary thing. And I kind of like fear for her a little bit in that respect. And just how do you stay grounded as well when you have that level of exposure at such a young age as well? So just joy, absolutely joy, that she has a voice, that she was so articulate, but yeah, just that little bit of kind of deep rooted kind of, I hope somebody's out there really protecting her. She's young. She's incredibly young.
She really is, like maybe 20 or 21 or 22 or something, right? I forget.
I certainly wasn't like that when I was 20 or 21. You know, you think you know everything, but no way was I even, anywhere near as articulate as that. Not even like that now. But yeah, some
and you say that, and you're a broadcaster. You have a wonderful show. I should tell people listening and watching. You've got to tune in, and it is on demand on bbc.co.uk/sounds. But on Sundays, every Sunday, from 6 p.m. in the UK to 8 p.m. on BBC Three Counties Radio, you can listen to Farzana. Farzana is just terrific, and I love what you do. You talk culturally. You speak about the culture of India. I don't want to make sure. I want to get the country correct as well. It is India, correct? Is it not?
It's like the South Indian kind of country, South Asian country. So it's India, it's Pakistan, it's Bangladesh, it's Sri Lanka. So it's those kind of countries. So the program, I guess, is aimed at a BAME community. I have Ed after me, who's on between 8 and 10, and he kind of he caters more for the Black and Afro-Caribbean kind of community. But it's really just showcasing local people. What are they doing? Local news. It's lovely because it is local radio. We have quite a large following. And I think certainly during lockdown, a lot of people are turning to radio as well, because it's some noise. It's a voice. In the house. But my producer always says, lovely producer, Toby, who says, Farzana, just be yourself. And in the beginning I was, are you sure? Are you really sure you want me to unleash myself? And he was like, no, we just want you to be you. And when I started doing the job, I thought I had to be very like BBC Radio 4. So I was like, good evening, everyone. And he was like, this isn't you. So now hence I say, what do I say? Hello, my gorgeous darlings, or something, because that is more me. So you have to be quite authentic, because people know if you're not. Right. So yeah, I enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoy it as well. Thank you.
No, I really do. And one of the first rules of broadcasting is to be authentic, to be who you are, to be real. And I'm a podcaster. I've done some television, but that was several years back with movies and things. But it is about being real and being authentic and being you. And people do respect and gravitate to that. And you tell these wonderful jokes. There was a couple of Sundays ago when you talked about waking up. And by the way, you are free to curse. If you want to curse or swear, you're free to do that here. So,
well, do you know what? I mean, I grew up watching Carry On films, so I kind of, grew up in the 1970s, and so yeah. I mean, it was very politically incorrect then. So yeah, you've got to have a bit of double entendre, haven't you?
Absolutely. I love it. And I remember those Carry On days too. I'm right there with you at the Carry Ons. Babs, Barbara Windsor, and all kinds of people. Kenneth Williams, of course, and Sid James, and a lot, having a lot of fun back in the 60s and in the 70s. Exactly. It was just real fun. I just love those.
It was. It was good. It was good. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good.
it's funny. I don't know when you talk about TV, by the way, I don't know if there's anything now, and I don't watch a lot of TV from afar from England. And I used to, but I don't know if there's anything like Carry On or anything dynamic in television anymore, whether it's Carry On or something else from back then that we
Yeah,
see
not
now in
really.
England. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, there is kind of observational humor and things, but I mean, Carry On was just in a league of its own, really, wasn't it? Just
Yeah.
complete league of its own. So there hasn't really been anything like that. I mean, everything's very PC now, isn't it? For certain reasons, yes, good, but also you've got to be able to laugh at yourself as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, you do. You do. No, it's very important. Laughter and humor is a very important thing. And even though a lot of the things I talk about on this podcast are pretty darn serious, people
Oh,
accuse me of not having. Oh, I'm a very funny, humorous person when you
yeah,
get to know me, and I do express some of that. But anyway, this is not about how funny or not funny I am. It's just a great opportunity. We've got a few minutes to just laugh about things and
yeah.
just think about some of the stuff that's going on. You want to laugh at something? I mean, you know that we're having this impeachment trial, of course. Um,
Oh my God.
this whole trial. I mean, oh my goodness
I mean,
me.
let's just go right back to basics. It should
Yes.
have ended with the bronzer, really, shouldn't it? With the badly applied bronzer, with the hair, with the just everything. How? I think in decades to come, when this period is studied, it will be, how did it happen? How did it happen? And certainly the enablers who allowed it to happen as well. I mean, I think, is there any comeback for the Republican Party from this? Can they come back from this?
I think it's over for them. I think it's been over. But you know what? In a way, to answer two questions that you asked, how did this happen? I think, and I've been saying it on this podcast for quite a bit, actually. I think it's been going on for 100, 200 plus, whatever years. We have a country that was, as you know, was founded in violence, founded on
Yeah.
violence. The US of A was founded upon violence. And these threads have strained throughout, especially since the Civil War and after Reconstruction. Now that has never really stopped. There's this push and pull, and the Republican Party from the 1960s to this very day, this is the quote unquote, I call it logical in quotes, destination for where it ends up. It wasn't always like this for the Republicans, of course. During enslavement days, they were the party who were the abolitionists that said,
Yeah.
no, we don't want enslavement. The Democrats were the ones that said, no, let's do enslavement. But as they morphed into what they morphed into after the Dixiecrats in the 1960s and everything else, this is their agenda. And this is what they've got: violence, tax breaks for these uber rich, and the rest of you can go, screw off. I would have said the F word, but
And I mean, we're just watching in terms of just the astronomical death rate in America at the moment from COVID. It's out of control. And then watching the Super Bowl and just seeing those people sat in there, it seemed like a hell of a lot of people in that stadium. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I just like, hello.
yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, it's madness. And I didn't, and thankfully I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but I've stayed away from it for good reasons over the last few years.
I
I
mean,
think you probably know
after
some
how
of those.
they dealt with our brother,
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of respect for them. And to be honest with you, Maroon 5 as well. I mean, really, nobody wanted to play, that year, did they? No one wanted to do that halftime show except them. But they thought, no, we'll give a donation. Everything will be okay. Everyone will forget. No, I haven't forgotten. And it doesn't help that you took your shirt off either. Don't care. You are dead to me. But it's just disgraceful how he was treated. I feel really aggrieved at that. And and then they're saying that Tom Brady, they're calling him the GOAT. Ah!
Yeah. I know. Isn't that?
I'm like, what the hell? Hello, ding, ding, ding.
the MAGA quarterback, the guy that supports Trump. I mean, he's a big Trump supporter, this guy. He's a big Trump supporter. And it's just, I mean, look, I know, listen, he has won 7 Super Bowls. I'm never going to begrudge him that on field, but he is a very disgusting, disreputable person off of it.
Yeah.
You know, and Colin Kaepernick, a decent human being, lost his career.
Lost his career. Exactly. And the way that he was treated, oh, I tell you, it's so hard to not feel really, really angry and aggrieved. And you know, I think they have lost a lot of fans, certainly this side. And I normally do stay up certainly until the halftime show, because you just try and force yourself to stay awake to try and avoid all the what is it, the ad breaks. Oh my Lord, the ad breaks. It's just never ending. Just never ending. I mean, I have a little bit of an understanding of what's actually going on the pitch or whatever you call it. Do you guys call it a pitch? Is it a pitch?
Yeah.
Is it
they call it the gridiron, but it's the football field.
The gridiron.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The gridiron.
Yeah, it's actually called
that with the ship. Was there a ship there? Like in the stadium?
Yeah, that was really before I stopped watching the NFL, I remember that stadium. That ship is so weird. It's this whole Pirates thing, the Buccaneers, the Pirates. It's kind of this Buccaneers as Pirates thing, and their logo, and then there's a ship in the background.
It reminds me of tea being sunk, and I'm just thinking, have they got some like barrels of tea? Kind of like, it's just really bizarre. And then they fire our cannons. What comes out of it? Is it confetti? Is it smoke? I mean, it's just really bizarre. I thought, what the hell?
Yeah, they're trying to fight a war while they're playing a football game. I don't know. It's just so weird, right? It's like battleships going on.
I know. And I mean, it's nice to see a little bit of eccentricity, I have to admit. But I was thinking, what the hell's going on? Is that really a ship? What's going on? A sailboat? Yeah. Dear.
I tell you, leave it to us here in the United States to we love to make sports with violence. I mean, some of that's very inherent. And look, I mean, in my native country and in both of our native countries, all the stuff that's going on there, we cannot leave these few minutes that we have to not talk about number 10 Downing Street, the COVID rates where you now the highest death rate at one point in the entire planet, certainly in Europe.
Exactly.
And this chopping and changing and what's going on in the vaccine and the South Africa variant, I mean, we could go to so many places, but look at the calamity that's going on. I weep.
Yeah, so do I. Do you know, this is the 3rd lockdown, and this is a hard lockdown. Nothing is open. And this is really tough. It's tough on youngsters. It's tough on young minds. It's tough on the elderly. And exactly what you said, chop and change. There doesn't seem to be any divisive policy. Nobody's really listening to guidance from the scientists. And which bit of, like understanding that there is a 2-week delay period in your data, does nobody understand? So you've got to be proactive. You've got to kind of slam the brakes early. And there's still people streaming through Heathrow with no tests or no checks or anything. So, I'm doing freelancing for the BBC, and weekly, I mean, they've not mandated it, but we have a COVID test that you do. So you don't have to do it, but you know what? Why not do it? So it gives you a level of assurance as well. And also the people that you're working with. It's a very small crew that's in there on Sunday, but why not? A lot of the larger companies are doing that, but you know what? Mandate it. Force people to do the test. I was auditing it, when the producer told me, because once an auditor, always an auditor, and I was saying, well, how can you trace this? Are you not recording the serial numbers of the test kits that you've given me so you can tick them off? And he just looked at me and he said, Farzana, look, just take your auditor's hat off, just cool, chill, just let me know, do it on Thursday, just let me know, message me and just say that the test is okay. But, I'm kind of thinking, this is serious. This is serious stuff. And yes, you're right, the South African variant, what is going to happen there? We just don't know. We just don't know at the moment what's going to happen. It's a terrible state to be in. And it's difficult. This lockdown has been incredibly challenging. It's winter, it's snowing outside, it's cold. And there's no when you can't actually visualize the end point, that is a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, and one last thing, I gotta say this for the record. You talk about these lockdowns. Look what's happened in this government. But Dominic Cummings, they had to beg to get him out. Dominic, the other guy, Desmond Sir, I won't even call him a sir. How did he get that title? You don't have to comment if you don't want to, obviously. Desmond Swain, who appeared in blackface in his political career, by the way. I'm going to say that, mask wearing's oppression. I mean, these people are blooming nuts. They have lost the plot. Farzana, they've lost the plot. And it's frightening. And it's as if Boris Johnson is waiting for the worst case thing and then going, I had no choice but to do this. Yeah. And it's just crazy. They're dithering. And he has the nerve to make fun of Sir Keir Starmer and talk about, he's Captain Hindsight.
I know.
This is psychopathic.
It is. And I think, you know what, just watching that chaos, and it is chaos unfold from 10 Downing Street. If you feel that you had some strong leadership, some direction, even a bit of empathy, etc., then, you'd know we'd get out of this. But there is just nothing, so today, what was it? So they've announced that there could be 10-year sentences if you lie about, or if you sneak into the country without doing a COVID test, or if you lie about your COVID test. I mean, how are you going to enforce that? 10 years. So, somebody who's a drink driver gets a suspended kind of 3.5-year sentence, and you're just randomly coming out with 10 years. Well, I mean, what are we, a dictatorship now? What's going on? Where's the balance? What you really want to see is some cross-party alliance. Yes, I know we are in, everyone says, unprecedented circumstances, and yes, they are, but have some cross-party alliance. You've got brains in this country, you've got scientists, you've got economists. You have some cross-party alliance that you form in order to strategize and decide on what you're actually going to do, what's the best for the country. But no, there's just such an amount of arrogance there. It's sheer arrogance, and it's killing people.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. You said it very, very well, obviously, as you always do. I mean, I just wanted to say one last thing about that, is that you've got the way it's broadcasted now, the people who have lost their lives, it's within 28 days of a test, and that is not the accurate barometer. Yeah. They're only talking about 28 days with after you've taken a test or within that period. But that is not the full death toll of people, unfortunately, and it's sad to say. I think it's a lot higher than that, and it's sad. But we need to talk about that truth, and let's not treat the English public like 7-year-olds, because I think a lot of the right-wing Fleet Street media does that, and it's not fair. You go up to Scotland, and you got newspapers, at least, or the Scottish arm, they actually treat their citizenry like adults.
Yeah. Well, I mean... let's see what happens to the UK. Is the UK going to remain united? That ain't looking very hopeful from where we're sitting post Brexit. Yeah. That's not looking very hopeful.
No, very true, very true. Well, we could talk and talk and talk, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe we can get to do this again sometime, but it's just been really terrific, Farzana. Thank you very much for being here. Farzana is at BBC Three Counties Radio. You can find her on Sundays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. You can also listen on a repeat and on demand at bbc.co.uk/sounds. That's SOUNDS. And you can get the Sounds app as well on your phone. It's just so lovely to speak to you. And it's been really edifying, too. It's just great to get these perspectives. 2 Brits having a laugh together.
Exactly.
And 2 Watford fans, too. Hopefully we'll really be laughing.
Did you see my Johnny Barnes?
Oh, Johnny. Lovely. I miss him. He's great, though. I met him years ago. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. Thank you so much, Farzana. Thank you, Farzana, for being here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, brilliant. Take care. Thanks.
You too. Bye-bye.
Now, we have two psychological battles that we're fighting against white folk. We won one. They told us that we should hate Malcolm X. We dumped that, thank God. Now, the second battle that we're now fighting is whether or not we will have the right to use the terms to decide how our movement is going to go. They don't want us to use black power. I got news for them. Because what black power was supposed to do was to start bringing black people together under a slogan that everyone understood. But what in fact is done is it's organized white people and their Negro allies. Now, we have to talk about the rebellion in Chicago. And we have to say, you see, Richard Daley, baby, don't you put none of our boys in jail and charge them with treason, because you deserve to be charged with treason. You deserve to be charged with treason, because anytime you force people to live that way, you deserve to be charged with treason. You are guilty, not us. You are guilty.
Who was that? Who was the voice, the male voice you just heard? Answers on a postcard, please. Today's book recommendation, The Souls of Black Folk, by W.E.B. Du Bois. The Souls of Black Folk, that's S-O-U-L-S, The Souls of Black Folk, by W.E.B. Du Bois. D-U-B-O-I-S, as in Sam, is his last name. Very important book, and I urge you to read it. And that's today's book recommendation. Very special thanks to Farzana for joining me on this edition of the Politicrat Daily Podcast. By the way, she can be found on Twitter at FARZANA_CHAUDRY. Once again, that's F as in Frank, ARZA, N as in North, A, _ CHAUDRY. Thank you very much for listening to this edition of the Politicrat. I'm Omar Moore.